Hello and welcome to the show.
Welcome to the Wagon podcast.
Welcome.
Presented by
Progressive. Pernessin. This is presented by Progressive.
According to Nesson.
Yeah. That's just what they reported.
First reported by Nesson.
Yep. Big football weekend.
All right. Yeah.
This weekend.
It is currently, we'll set the scene. It is Sunday night. We're watching the Bengals play the Ravens. Scores probably like 50-7.
I think it's 0-0 still, which is
nail biter.
Yeah, it's pitcher's duel.
Yeah.
So
9-0.
Not gonna have reactions on that game unless they come live. Yeah, 9-0. I need some glasses. I think. Yeah, a lot of football has happened this weekend. You know who didn't play is the Patriots, but we're gonna talk about them.
We are, because that's all we got to do.
Which is, I thought we weren't gonna talk about them. I was actually pretty excited to not talk about
some hockey, talk about some basketball.
Sure, but
football is king.
Football is king. But then I saw this interesting little report from Chris Sims of NBC, son of Phil Sims.
Yep. Son of Phil Collins.
I hear it coming in the air tonight.
Yep. That's the one I'm talking about.
You know, that's about him like witnessing a murder.
Yeah, really bad murder.
We shouldn't rank murders. Each murder is
well, they do. It's called first degree, second degree, third degree.
It's true. All right, back to the show.
Don't cut that. No, uncut.
Okay.
Uncut.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Chris Sims reporting that Mac Jones went a little AWOL this year.
Yeah.
What's that about? He was really, really unhappy with the state of the offense.
Don't blame him.
Don't blame him. He sought outside help away from the Patriots, asking for tips on how to improve this offense, which is very interesting for a second-year quarterback to do. Also, there was, he was very upset about the Bailey Zappi situation, and Belichick found out about all this and got very, very mad, and there was a meeting, and it allegedly got personal and all sorts of this stuff. So that's interesting.
But I think the main problem here is that all the players are backing Mac Jones.
Yes.
Everyone is in agreement with Mac Jones.
That is definitely something.
So that is kind of...
And the players know.
Everyone knows.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of why Bill had to back off and be like, yeah, Mac Jones, welcome back to the offense.
Yeah, exactly. My take on this is that if your second-year quarterback is trying to seek outside help on the offense, your offense is so far beyond just like not working that you got to really you have to take a look at this if you're Bill Belichick.
This is crazy sentence.
After being sacked a career high 34 times this season.
Career high.
It's
his second year.
They took a big hit.
Yeah.
You don't say. His stats took a big hit. Yeah, well, compared from his one other year of playing. If you're Bill Belichick, you got to adapt.
You have to adapt to the times. Have to adapt to the times.
It's unbelievable. I mean, we've been saying it all year, but this is just it being confirmed to us from an inside source. You had a question about Mac Jones, a hypothetical.
I did. I would like to start by saying I think this is showing us that Mac is the guy. Maybe not the long-term guy, but he's the guy right now because the whole team's banding with him. He obviously cares a bunch about the team. Yep. I was saying earlier in there, I think he has to step up and stop being a baby sometimes, take some accountability. But clearly he is. He's doing things behind the scenes, trying to figure out the offense.
Mentally, I've always been a fan.
Yeah, and clearly if all the players are backing him, then it seems like he's the guy moving forward. I know there's been some question about that this offseason, but it doesn't seem like he's going anywhere.
Yeah.
My question was, going into this offseason, going into next year, what's better for Mac? Drafting a left tackle, acquiring a left tackle via trade, or drafting a wide receiver, getting DeAndre Hopkins? What should our number one goal be? Getting improving that offensive line or getting some weapons for Mac?
Yeah, it's a good question. I would say weapons. And I would say weapons because of what we've seen in the NFL recently. This team that's playing right now, the Cincinnati Bengals, they've made it to a Super Bowl last year on the card of we're not going to draft Penei Sewell, we're going to draft Jamar Chase. And that connection was electric all season. I'm not saying you could draft someone and that would have the effects, but also at the same time, why couldn't it be? If you draft a JSN or a Jordan Addison.
Or even a Mike Mayer.
Or a Mike Mayer, exactly, just some offensive weapon. It goes to show what the Bengals have done. They're saying, hey, we'll try to build the offensive line in different ways, but we are absolutely just going to prioritize weapons, and it's worked, absolutely, just hammering the offense.
And I think either way this year there'll be a lot of acquisitions, I'll say, just because I think We've talked about Robert Kraft's getting really upset.
Yeah, they had a meeting.
They had a meeting, and I think he's willing to spend some cash for an upgraded offensive line.
Too.
I think we should prioritize the offensive line.
Okay.
I mean, left tackle is the second most paid position in football, so for a reason too.
Yeah. Not a lot of good ones.
But not a lot of good ones. But there's definitely there's levels to it.
For sure. Trent Brown was not great this year.
No, he wasn't great.
No.
But if you go and draft a left tackle, he's not going to be right away an all-pro. Look at Cole Strange this year.
Yeah.
He was all right, but he wasn't.
Yeah, I like him.
Anything to scoff about.
Right.
I think this is where we come at the thing with Bill. If we want to switch and go draft weapons, if we stay with Bill, he's going to draft a left tackle.
Yeah, probably.
If we're doing the adapt to the times thing, Bill is going to keep drafting left tackle because we got Randy. We got a weapon and didn't win a Super Bowl for
that's true
5 years.
Yeah.
And you have no weapons. I mean, Gronk's a weapon. Edelman's a weapon. But
last Pro Bowler he's drafted, by the way.
For you're competing every year.
Yeah.
With drafting left tackles and guards and stuff like that. So I think that's the question. There's a lot of teams like the Vikings. You don't know who the Vikings left tackle is, but they have Justin Jefferson, and he seems to be making Kirk Cousins a real quarterback.
Offensive coach.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's kind of, if we want to switch to the weapons, I think Bill Belichick might be kind of on his way out, if that's the adapt to the times thing.
In terms of what I would like to happen, I would absolutely love to prioritize drafting a wide receiver, and I would love to spend money on the offensive line. I don't love spending money at wide receiver because I think young guys in the draft are there's such a deep pool nowadays, and there just has been the last couple drafts. But if you're gonna tell me you're gonna pay I don't know, a Teron Armstead or Trent Williams, that someone of that caliber, a bag, I would be more than happy with that. Now, if you're gonna say hey, we're gonna draft a left tackle, but we're gonna trade for DeAndre Hopkins, I would probably rather take a JSN or something like that with our first pick and throw a bag at a left tackle, just because I think they're left tackles are so tricky to draft. Wide receivers really aren't that tricky to draft the last couple of years. So
that's fair.
I would like to see that happen, but I agree with you on your point that I have no reason to believe that Belichick would do that. My only hope is that this meeting with Kraft, everyone has been reporting that it's typical Patriots, but everyone's on the same page, and that page being that significant changes need to be made.
I agree with that. That's a interesting. We have N'Keal Harry's a free agent. Jacoby Myers is a free agent. Nelson Aguilar is a free agent.
N'Keal Harry is no longer on the Patriots. But
right.
It's true.
Forgot about
him. I don't think Jacoby Myers is going to come back. I think he's going to get a decent money somewhere, and there's no way the Pats match it because I think they really like Tyquan Thornton. I like Tyquan Thornton too, but
I do too. But we still have to have.
Yeah, I think he's
There's not a whole lot of free agents
for wideouts.
Yeah.
Really. That's why I would love the draft. Jackson Smith-Njigba is so good. He had 6 touchdowns in the Rose Bowl.
I don't like him just because he sat out on the.
Yeah, that's not going to bother me. So did Jamar Chase for an entire season. So
all right, I don't like him then.
All right, fair. All right, I'm sick of talking about the Pats. How about you?
Me too. I'm done.
All right,
for the rest of the year.
We'll say that, but it's
only January.
Yeah, we have a lot of months left. There's probably going to be more Pats left. All right, when we come back, we're going to talk about the NFL as a whole.
We're back talking more football. No Patriots, though.
No thanks.
We're done on that. We watched a great display of football yesterday.
Yeah.
In the 49ers offense. Brock
So
Purdy
well-oiled.
put on a display. Real well-oiled team. They're real complete on both sides. I think that Kyle Shanahan is the best coach in football, or top 2.
Okay.
I think it's him and Andy Reid.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
He put together this team which is incredible.
Incredible.
And he got the team when they got the team. They were 2 wins, lottery pick from what's this guy's name? Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Yeah.
Terrible. Their best weapons were Jimmy G, first time ever starting.
Michael Crabtree, maybe.
Rookie year. I don't even think Crabtree was there.
Yeah.
Carlos Hyde.
Oh, yeah.
And Pierre Garçon.
Wow.
Yeah, that was their team. And he turned it around, and they've had a lot of winning seasons, and now they have probably easily the best offense in the league, I'd say.
I would agree.
Although they do have a great defense, but this I think he's the best coach in the league because you can put any quarterback under center and they will make the playoffs. I don't think you can say that about. I think you could say that about McVay, and that's it.
I still think you can say that about Andy Reid.
This year. No, I don't agree with that.
Really?
About Andy Reid?
Yeah. Alex Smith was good.
If you put
Brock Purdy.
any quarterback in the league, if you put Brock Purdy on the Chiefs, are they making the playoffs?
I don't know. But regardless, again, it's a very short list.
Are they winning 12 games? The Chargers had 11 wins.
Yeah, that's it's a short list if it's a list at all. So I agree with you.
It's a short list, and he put together this team that is very well oiled.
And him and John Lynch, the GM, work in tandem all the time. It's a very much an open
real well. Brock Purdy looks so good to me because he didn't have to make hard throws.
Yeah,
that's just great coaching.
Mm-hmm.
He had some bad throws in the first half, but then he turned around and he just did his job. He didn't do anything crazy; just did his job.
Yep.
So his spots,
nice pocket awareness,
great pocket awareness. Couple scrambles here and there. He also took the Falcons to the Super Bowl, basically.
Yeah, he was also he was with those Washington teams with Kirk Cousins.
Yep,
that were like really good.
Yeah, so I think Shanahan is obviously everyone knows he's a good coach, but I think he's underappreciated. Like Andy Reid's great, McVay is real good. They struggled this year, but other than that, like who's better than him?
Belichick certainly didn't have much of a season to show.
I like Vrabel.
I like Vrabel too, but again, it's like, I mean, they don't have a quarterback.
Seem to be a one-trick pony.
Wouldn't you take Ryan Tannehill over Brock Purdy?
Would I take Ryan Tannehill? Yeah,
for a one-game situation.
Just in general.
Yeah,
yeah,
and that's what it was, and they can't do that. So there's a lot of good coaches, but I completely agree. Building off your point, I think that coaching is the single most important aspect in the NFL to get right.
Yeah, I think there's
a lot of aspects, like you can argue the quarterback, massively important, the owner, huge. But coaching above all else, I think, is what's most important. And you're seeing it, there's a lot of examples. Kyle Shanahan's a great example. McVay's a great example. We saw it today, I think, on stunning display with Brian Daboll of the Giants. I mean, you have a team who, in terms of acquisitions, did not change much from last year to this year.
Nope.
Right?
Nope. On paper, their team is terrible.
Exactly. There's like a Kayvon Thibodeau who has been solid, but that was a draft. Like Brian Daboll took Daniel Jones, who I thought was a bottom 5 quarterback in the league. I watched him today. I would take him over maybe 24 guys in the league. And that's being maybe lowballing it. Daniel Jones looked terrific today. Their best receiver is a guy named Isaiah Hodgins, who they claimed off waivers in week 2, and you were telling me he hasn't dropped a pass all year until today.
Yep.
And if that isn't coaching, then I don't know what is. It's Saquon Barkley had a resurgence. Like coaching is everything in this league, and you're seeing that like no matter what roster you have. What's interesting about the NFL, like this is absolutely not true about the NBA. Like the NBA, like the top 10 guys can just dictate a season, right? That's just how the sport's built.
Yeah.
In the NFL, like your wide receivers, there's obviously the couple guys that are game changers like Tyreek or Justin Jefferson, but most of them are within a variable of each other. You know what I mean? And you got guys like Isaiah Hodgins who can just make catches, and guys like Darius Shepard, who's got some speed that can just work in an offense. And Daboll's a brilliant offensive mind, and it's completely shifted the franchise. And you're seeing it in Jacksonville with Doug Peterson too. I mean, Doug Peterson just a grown up, who, by the way, like. Is there 4 other coaches in the league who you'd rather have in a short gain one play situation than Doug Peterson? And that's exactly what he got himself into that game and just won the game off it.
Yeah.
Like I mean, in terms of like 1st and goal from the 3, 4th and 1, 4th and 2 to seal the game, is Doug not the top 3 in the league at that? And it's just it's crazy to me how it just keeps happening. Like it's just. Coaches are everything in this league.
They are, and we talked earlier about how it's people just forget that this is like a team game.
Oh, big time.
Yeah, and you could say that about the 49ers too. There's that quote where it's like you'd rather have a lion...
Army of sheep.
Army of sheep led by a lion than an army of lion led by a sheep. But this 49ers team is basically an army of lions led by a sheep. But they're well-coached lions.
That's so true, yeah.
The sheep being Brock Purdy.
Yeah, exactly. And It's if you just have those lines.
It's a team game, dude. It's a team game.
Yeah.
A coach is very important part of the team.
No, yeah,
Super important.
it's really cool. It's cool to see too. Like it's
The Steelers could have lost every game this year
every game
and turned out a winning record like always.
somehow. It's
Because Mike Tomlin is the greatest.
the greatest. It's and we've been harping on Belichick, but that roster's terrible. His offensive play caller's horrendous.
Real bad. And he's
And
still
just won
put up
games.
points, won games.
But it just goes to show you in terms of you really see it when a new coach comes in, a Doug Peterson or a Brian Dable or a
Right.
Kyle Shanahan in a couple years ago, where it's like, geez, this is virtually the same roster.
You can also really tell when guys are not meant to coach in the NFL.
Yeah, Urban Meyer.
Yeah, and
It just doesn't work.
it just doesn't work.
No.
Which sucks.
And you heard
But-
Trevor Lawrence talking about it before the game, and Trevor Lawrence is not a vocal guy at all, but he said, Doug just sort of is very chill. And
Yeah.
if there's ever a bad pass, he goes, whatever.
Whatever, dude.
And that's kind of how you coach adults, I think.
Yeah.
And it's, it's very interesting.
Well,
Dable's
it
interesting
depends,
because right. Yeah, I mean, there's different schools of thought, but I think for that situation.
Detroit Lions.
Right. But for that situation coming off Urban Meyer, I think it was absolutely perfect for a guy to just be like a chill dude.
Yeah,
and
just let him do his thing.
Yeah. And I mean,
I
and then
agree.
you got, conversely, it's just a situation like the Chargers where you got Staley, and it just, the way it feels, like you watch the Giants, you watch the Niners,
Yep.
and you're like, wow, so this quarterback just has to make throws.
Yeah,
and
you've
they're
gotta-
at least in every game.
You just have to hit open receivers.
Exactly. And like that's another thing. Like the 49ers guys are always like wide open.
Yeah, which
And like, the
obviously
Miami
they're-
guys are like that too.
Obviously, they're super skilled,
Yeah.
but
That's play
no
design.
matter how skilled you are, like you have to,
Run the routes.
run the routes and get open. So
It's very interesting. But anyway, like you see Daniel Jones just, making the throws. You see Brock Purdy just making the throws, and these teams are really successful. That's not what you feel when you watch a Chargers game. When you watch a Chargers game, it's like Justin Herbert is a superhuman.
Yeah.
And he's just putting this team on his back and making all these incredible throws, and it always gets masked by how good Herbert is.
never open either.
Never open. And it's like he shouldn't have to be this good. That's the
shouldn't,
whole thing.
yeah.
Like it shouldn't have to be that Justin Herbert has to be this superhuman to keep teams in the game, especially
Right.
with such a good roster that they have. It's like that's where it falls on Staley. For me.
That's an army of sheep led by a lion.
Absolutely is. And it's an army of lions that like all have broken legs.
They're just behind the eight ball now. It's just, I mean, obviously Eckler's Eckler, but they really don't have.
Yeah, but even and Eckler's great, but like they why did they have no run game the other night? You have Austin Eckler. Like they had
something going.
no run support besides in the red area. Like that's a team that I would absolutely love to see Sean Payton coach.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
I think he'd turn that.
That'd be
around.
real interesting.
Because I mean, you got a grown up who's offensive minded, one of the most brilliant offensive minds in the sport in the last 20 years, and you got him with Herbert.
If they can stay healthy, I mean, do you think things like that? Like, do you think that's unlucky that like they got so hurt this year, or does it have to do with coaching decisions, drafting injury-prone players, all this kind of stuff?
The injury thing is unlucky, or the losing is unlucky because of the injuries.
The injury thing, I guess.
Like, I mean, like you can call it unlucky, but it's like even with the injuries. And by the way, no, because Mike Williams should have never been playing.
That's what I'm
last
saying. That's a
week.
coach thing.
Totally a coach thing there. And additionally, even with the injuries, last night, Keenan Allen and Josh Palmer alone would be the two best receivers on the Giants. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they would.
And by the way, was anyone before this week telling me that the Vikings were not better than the Jaguars? I think virtually everyone would take the Vikings over the Jaguars before last weekend.
Everyone was real out on the Vikings, but
But you know
I
what
would
I
agree.
mean?
No one
Like-
was in on the Jaguars.
Right. So it's like, and they, got beat. And so it's
Yeah.
just, it's real interesting. Like you complain about the weapons thing and then you see the Giants. And it's like, I don't think the Giants are going to win the Super Bowl, but it's the model of success in the NFL really is for most teams winning a playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Like that marks a successful season.
It does, making the playoffs for half these teams. And
Exactly,
the Giants
yeah.
are now having one of their best seasons in recent history.
It's absurd. It is crazy just like the growth of Daniel. I watched Daniel Jones and it's like, this dude's
He's an actual quarterback.
real good.
Yeah.
Throws the ball real hard.
Yeah.
I mean, so it's just,
I'm just used to usually like watching Red Zone, and I'll see Daniel Jones rip off a 98-yard run.
yeah, I'm like, what's
And I'm
that?
just like,
That's
oh, all
interesting.
right.
He's
How
very
is
tall.
no one catching him?
Yeah, and then you see it. So yeah, I mean, if you're in the NFL, that's just it.
I agree with you. I think coaching's a big thing, and I think that's an all of sports thing.
Hess
Hess.
metaphor. You don't want to be like Hess.
Oh, adapt to the times.
Adapt to the times.
I don't know if Hess.
Or you'll become like Hess.
Is there really like an adaptation to the times in the gasoline industry?
Is that what caused them to go out of business? I'm not sure. Failure to adapt.
I don't think
Bad management. They might have just got bought out also.
Yeah,
Like, I don't know.
I think they got bought out by that whatever the red one
The
is.
red with an S.
Speedwell or
Yeah,
something.
yeah. So make that metaphor with what you will.
But hey, Hess.
Hess, sponsored by Hess. That might be the
This
show.
is sponsored by Hess.
No, big time.
Actually, we can talk about the Vikings quick.
Okay.
Well, we just told you that the playing from behind narrative does not work in the playoffs.
No, it doesn't.
Winning close games is not a thing when it comes to important games.
Yeah, you called this a couple weeks ago why your reasoning for being out on the Vikings wasn't just because they seem fraudulent, it's because of their style of play is just they always play from behind.
That's their team identity. It's like, yeah, we're just going to be not great, let the Giants score 3 touchdowns in the first half or 17 points, and then we'll just, in the second half, we'll just take care of it, but it doesn't happen all the time.
Not going to work in the playoffs.
Doesn't happen.
And it did not work today. No matter
And
how good
the Giants' defense, like we were saying, not the greatest defense on earth.
Not on paper.
They played well.
Yeah.
But,
well coached.
if they ran into the 49ers defense, I think the Vikings would probably not put up a point.
I don't think so. Certainly not in the first half.
Yeah.
Probably like 20 in the last couple minutes, but they'd already be down 54-0. So, yeah, you were absolutely correct about the Vikings. It'll be interesting to see how this game goes and the fact that the Ravens are somehow hanging on.
You just run the ball, dude. That's all
Yeah.
you do. 7-9.
Talk about identity. I would love it's also this. Oh, that's big. A little shift Harbaugh to the Broncos would absolutely adore because of how heavy on the run he is. I think that'd be great for us.
I think it would too.
Anything's great. Just if you can just support your quarterback,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
It's going to be interesting what happens in Baltimore in the offseason, I think.
That'll be interesting too. All right, we ready? You ready?
Yes.
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Welcome back to another draft.
Another draft.
We're going to be doing the best sounds in sports draft, joined by our NFL insider, Ant Luongo.
Yes, sir. Hello.
Great.
Hello.
Who wants first pick? You want?
We're going to let Ant take the first pick because he's playing.
Why? No, I don't want first pick.
You're playing an away game.
Yep.
We're letting you have the first pick.
You can have second.
Okay.
All right. Ant, you're up first. You're on the clock.
All right. Well, so first pick of the best sounds in sports, I'm going to go with, after the national anthem, Flyover comes through.
It's a good one. That's a good one. Solid. Deafening usually. Very loud.
Yeah, real loud.
Yeah,
but
real loud.
America.
Yes.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. That's a good
Yeah,
one.
no, that was good.
Flyover's good. All
All
right.
right.
Quinn's up.
I will take the next pick. I'm going with a college three. Like a three-pointer. Like a swish, but just in college. Those rims sound way better.
Yeah,
than
for
the
sure.
NBA.
Yeah. And it's more like I feel like there's just
Dude,
so
like-
many rebounds usually in
It's
college too.
sounds like it's hitting the rim, but it's not.
Yeah. It's so much louder.
I love it. They mic it up, dude.
Yeah,
It's sick.
yeah, it's cool.
That's my first pick.
All right, my first pick. I'm just gonna go. It's a lot of sounds, but I'm gonna go the Sunday Night Football intro. Carrie Underwood and the song. Best one of probably my favorite sound in sports is that intro.
I like that pick.
Very good pick. Very good pick. For my second pick, I'm going to go staying with the national anthem. Very niche to Bostonians. Renee Rancourt singing the national anthem. Nothing.
I had a
better.
feeling that was going to get drafted.
That's a good one. The fist pump's iconic.
Fantastic.
That's a great pick.
I'm gonna draft with my second overall pick. I'm gonna go with audibles.
Really?
Yeah,
Like
a
quarterbacks?
quarterback calling an audible.
Okay.
That's my favorite thing to say. Yeah, a lot of good audibles out there. Nothing more exciting than reciting some audibles when you're just messing around.
You
So-
see him.
Hey, Green 80, 43's the mic.
What is he saying? The fake?
Yeah,
What is he saying?
Green 18, classic Aaron Rodgers. All of those.
Clapping
Yeah.
college is so cool too.
yeah. That's my pick.
That's a good one. I'm gonna go back to hockey. I'm gonna go with the Bruins goal horn / their song.
I had goal horn.
So good.
I had goal horn.
That was my next one. That was going to be my third pick.
Easily the best goal horn in the league. So good.
Oh yeah, everyone says, oh, you the Blackhawks have a good one, whatever. No, Bruins all the way. Third round, last pick. Matt got me thinking about it with sending it to me on TikTok or Instagram. Your Love being sung at Pat's games. Being in person for one of the most nostalgic moments where Jags, Pats, playoff game, comeback, whatever. Your Love was deafening. Fantastic. No,
So-
I don't. It's speechless.
That's a
the
good
best.
pick.
I've been there once for that. One of the best moments in live sports I've ever had in my life. Just the like late third quarter, early fourth quarter. Everyone's just like, and that just comes on. Brady's like walking out for a drive.
Everyone's dying down. It's the comeback drive, third down, anything like that, and it just gets the stadium roaring.
Feels like we'll never be hearing that again.
Yeah.
Never be in a
Probably
position for that to be played.
No. I agree.
Yeah, it's the best when they cut the music and everyone just keeps singing too. So this is my last pick?
Yeah,
Okay. There's going to be a lot of good ones
on the board
undrafted.
still. Yeah, for sure.
Not picked, yeah.
I'm going to go with... Oh, I have a lot of good ones.
That's what makes it good.
I'm going to take... I just don't want to go conventional. I'm going to take, like, race cars.
Really?
Taking a
That was one of mine too.
taking a left turn. Yeah. Yeah. When they cut in... Yeah, dude, race cars are sick.
Those are sick. Yeah, that's cool.
And they're like... they're all right behind each other.
Yeah,
I like
that's
the race
sick.
cars.
That is sick. Like ending where they're all like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. My last pick. This might be controversial. I think it's been some, it's people have raised the red flag in terms of might be a little culturally insensitive.
Oh.
But the tomahawk chop at FSU games and at Braves games,
That is a good
people
one.
have said to stop doing that, but it is so cool. I mean, like that, especially at Florida State, back when they were good or whenever they're good in football, even if it's like the beginning of the season, like some games down there. I remember Notre Dame played there. I think it was a year or two ago, and it was just electric. And they're trying to like run their plays. They're just like, oh, it's so good. Like, oh, amazing.
You gotta give the man the chop sometimes. You gotta give him the chop.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a great draft.
Do you have any honorable mentions, Ant?
Honorable mentions. Whenever, similar to Your Love, whenever there's a sing along, whether it's Mr. Brightside
Mhm.
or All the Small Things from the Avalanche this past year, just Sweet Caroline.
Yeah.
How could we forget that?
That's the iconic one. Yeah.
And whenever the music cuts out and it continues while the game's going on, it just hits different and it's so much fun if you're there.
Yeah, you're right.
So true.
I love when the crowd all bands together. I had honorable mentions when you make a putt, like the sound of
I have that.
the ball hitting
Yeah.
the cup.
Yeah.
I had bowling a strike.
Oh, good one. Yeah. And the weird little crazy animations.
Oh, that's a good one.
They were designed by Crack.
I had just like a buzzer beater.
Yeah.
And then I had like a glove popping like in baseball. Just
Solid. I had the golf balls. I had the golf balls in a bucket going to the range.
Yep.
It's a great sound. Great sound. And knows nothing about that.
Fantastic sound, especially when you're bad at golf and you do that a lot.
Yeah, you should do it more. I have Jack Edwards, just his voice.
Jack Edwards in general.
Love Jack Edwards. I also have the NFL draft music. I think you'd like the NFL draft music pick, Ant. I'm a big fan of that.
Yep.
That's a good one.
I think, does NBA use that too?
Or the NBA one. The NBA one is good too.
I think that is the NBA one.
That is
actually.
the NBA
Yeah,
one,
yeah.
yeah.
I love the NBA draft.
NFL is different. Might be similar. It might be the same on ESPN, but I think it's different on NFL Network or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, good draft.
I thought you were gonna take the baseball bat one.
Yeah. Good choice not taking that. Good choice.
No, that was too basic. You got to go niche sometimes.
I know, but none of us really took a basic pick.
We all went niche.
I mean, the swish of the basketball was a little basic, but then you made it specific to college, which then made it better.
Dude, the college three, that sound is so sick.
That is
Like
definitely.
I think of
different.
like Marcus Page hitting a three with like
Why was that the literal 3-pointer I shot? The circus
He's-
it up.
Yeah.
Why is that the one college 3-point shot that I thought when you said that?
And that's not even the most significant 3-point
No,
shot
in that game.
30 seconds of that game.
Yeah. the double clutch.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's crazy.
so good. All right, good draft.
Great draft.
Thanks for joining us. That's going to conclude our episode.
That is.
So thank you.
Yep.
And our NFL Insiders inaugural episode. Many more to come, but if you continue up your good reporting. Thanks for joining us.
All right.
That might be the show.
That's a quick little podcast.
Yeah. Thanks for listening. We'll be back
Thanks for having me.
in a week or so.